All right, perfect. How about Coach Pope? You know, like, he's just unbelievable. He really gets us into our mindset.
You just lost all credibility. You just lost all credibility.
But seriously, this game was super fun. Coach Cahill always talks about, like, keeping the standard. No matter who we play, no matter what gym we're in, no matter if the arena's sold out, if the arena's not, like, we're going to keep the standard. He also talked about having us come in waves. I feel like that's kind of the difference maker on this team is, like, we don't have just one guy. We have 17 guys on the team that really make a huge difference, and we all fight till the end of the whistle, and we're playing really good basketball because we're trusting each other and we're trusting what Coach Pope has in store for us.
Trev, is the standard 30, 40-point wins, or is that not part of the equation, just doing other things?
The standard is like doing all the little things, right? Like from when we started in the summer to now, like the extra shots we get in, the treatment we get in, the mental preparation, going over the scout, like we're not stopping just because we're winning, you know? So I think the standard is we're doing all those little things and we're not going to let the outside noise affect us. And I love what TH said. He said, we had a purpose before others had an opinion. So I just love that because that's kind of like how we are. We have a purpose, no matter what's going on with rankings, no matter what's going on with just the outside noise. Like we have such a tight-knit culture, and I think that culture is really, growing into something really special.
Trevin, what do you think?
Eagle.
Tanner Hayhurst.
Eagle. Tanner Hayhurst. In his pregame speech, he is right now. There's a contest on the team about who gives the best pregame speeches, and Eagle is probably in first place. But J-Mac made a hard push, right?
He did. He had a good
game. And then the truth is that Trip brought it today.
Trip did bring it. He started out a little slow and then finished it with a bang. So, but Eagle, Tanner Hayhurst is definitely on top. There's like a tier, He's like above tier 1 right now.
His NIL contract is going to have to go up soon.
It has to go up a lot
because keep him doing this.
Trevin, what do you think is the main or a few of the main reasons this offense is clicking at such a high level right now?
I think it's just how much we trust each other. Like we talk about every day. We trust each other, and it's super fun. Like the offense is fun right now. Like Coach Pope came into our huddle. He goes, "Hey, let's get out in transition." Like it's fun, right? And so the fun aspect is there, but then it's also like Jackson Robinson, like he would come up to me, he talks to me about ways that I can get open, he can get open. So there's like a mutual trust that just goes on. And we, after every dead ball, we bring everybody together, talk about what we need to do. And so there's this, again, the standard, right? So we're doing all those little things that really help, catapult our offense forward.
That's all fine and good, but tell them the truth.
And Coach Pope wants us to shoot threes.
No.
He wants me to.
There's only one thing we did different this year. That was we had Media Madness, and we watched the flow of the offense out there, and we're like, we stole everything
we did
do from it. Yes?
I think it was because of my offense, like how I coached.
I'm not going to name names, but there's a bunch of people in here that were putting on a show at Media Madness.
Against my team. So
yes,
we might have to work on that, but don't worry, I'll be back next year.
Obviously the offense gets a lot of the spotlight because of how you guys are scoring and how you're shooting from the perimeter and everything. But defensively, tonight, for example, you held Evansville 30 points under their season average in scoring. What's clicking defensively that is allowing you guys to be so efficient and so effective game after game on that end of the court?
Yeah, I think it's a couple things. One is like our high-level communication. Like we are so mature this year that we can be able to do 3 things at once and then trust our guy on the back end. And so the maturity's there with our like high-level communication out on the floor, and just like our blue-collar attitude. Like we have a thing that's called like the combat zone, and I feel like every single time we go out there, like we're winning that combat zone, and so we're trusting like the scheme that we have. Everybody's bought in, and again, it's just I love the saying. It's just keeping the standard. So no matter what the score is out on the scoreboard, like we're gonna fight till the end of the whistle.
Coach, I think the last time the program started 8-0 was the 2010-11 season. What does that just mean, for you and your program right
I don't know, actually. I just think the guys, what's special about this group and the reason why they're putting a good product on the floor every day is because they're not spending a lot of time evaluating that. We're just trying to focus on, getting over 83% of our guys wedging every time. That's, our guys are kind of lost in the details right now, and that's what makes this super fun. I've never coached a team, actually, that has gone on a run like this where they just have been totally focused on the objective on the court. They haven't been distracted by the game. They haven't been distracted by the opponent. They haven't been distracted by rankings or media or wins. Sometimes wins can be so distracted. And so I think that, this is super fun. Let's take it for a ride and see where we get. And the way that we do it on this team is, I use wedge as an example because it's such a simple thing that nobody else can do, but our guys can do it because they're committed to each other to go do it every single possession. And there's so many aspects of the game they're doing that way right now. So it's awesome. These guys have earned it, but it's not what they're spending a lot of time thinking about right now, is it?
No, we're definitely lost in the details.
Coach is mentioning the details. What is it like to see Jackson Robinson hit a 3 from 30 foot with the guy in his face, and then coach is nodding his head, and then go down the next possession and get an and 1-3, and then go to the free throw line?
Actually, it's pretty funny because so Jackson, he missed a couple, and it was kind of got in his head just a little bit. And I leaned over to him. I said, "Hey, Coach Pope says this to me all the time. He says Reggie Miller used to say, I don't even know when I'm hot yet." And he looks at me and he smiles. I was like, "Hey, it's time to get hot." And so we kind of nodded at each other, and then back-to-back threes from Jackson. So just that camaraderie that we have, the trust that we have is super special. And to have a guy like Jackson that can kind of do it all is really special too.
Coach, is it possible that part of this run, this 8-0 start and all that, actually goes back to last year some with a group of guys that, went through a lot of struggles, and Trevin had to sit out because of the surgery and everything? I mean, I can't help but notice only Ali's literally the only one that's contributing already that wasn't here last year. Are they taking kind of some of what they learned last year into this year?
Yeah, I think 100%. I think that that was the plan, right? And everybody has a plan, but these guys are executing it brilliantly right now. And I talked about this in some media this morning, but it's actually the special stuff that happened during the summer. So and the special stuff that happened last year. So last year, it was I know, the world outside of our locker room is so wildly different than the world inside our locker room. Sometimes you hear things being said or whatever, and you're kind of it's crazy how different the perception of the world is outside the locker room versus inside the locker room. And I think inside our locker room, we felt like last year was a massive win, right? What these guys accomplished as a freshmen and sophomores was really remarkable. What Trevin accomplished as a shot doctor, kind of growing guys all during the year, was incredible. And then this summer, what our guys did, Trevin is an unbelievable example. Jackson's an unbelievable example of our guys worked so hard. Trev could give you extensive details about all summer long about growing relationships with each guy on this team, and then bringing the team together for random, totally traditional, weird BYU student activities, but just with the guys on the team.
Date night goes crazy, guys.
Yeah, over and over and over again. And Jax is another great example. I talked about him this morning. Jax, had a complicated road to get here to BYU that probably developed some questions of trust and security and whatever, and he made a huge effort this summer to build relationships with guys, and it's not just these two, but they're two of the ringleaders in it, and all that stuff is part of giving us a chance to be what we are now. 100%. This is a growth thing, and we're in this not just for this year, but for next year also. We're going to have the vast majority of these guys back next year, and it's, when you have really special people in a locker room with growth mindsets, you get to grow, and these guys have.
One more question, Coach. Update on Foose, Baker, and Marcus.
Yeah, Foose is doing great right now. Foose has kind of been interesting for us in injury history. His hamstrings are kind of touch and go. And last year, at some point in the season, I think he missed a game or two with hamstring and hadn't practiced at all. And then he just rolled in on game day and was like, I'm good. And so we went. And so, I would like that to happen sooner rather than later. Foos is way more intelligent and wise than the rest of us. So I just kind of like sit here and wait until he says, Coach, I'm good, and we'll go. I would like that to be, like I said, sooner rather than later. Dawson Baker is getting close. He's kind of started doing some forward stuff on the court right now. And so we're hopeful, I don't know, 2-3 weeks-ish maybe. I'm not sure exactly. And then with Marcus, we're still in the process of this waiver process, just kind of waiting on final.
They give you any timeline on that?
Yeah, I think we're getting some preliminary feedback right now, but haven't got a final word on it.
Coach, thoughts on the matchup later this week against Utah?
Yeah, in-state games are super fun. Like, in-state games are special. They have a life completely of their own. This Utah team is a great team. They have, Brandon Carlson is a all Pac-12 vet. Like, he's just not becoming one. He's been one for a long time. They got incredible size. They can really shoot the ball. Craig does an unbelievable job coaching them in a great arena. So it's like in-state games, man. They're magic. Like, you just look forward to them because it's going to be an all-out brawl. And I don't use brawl anymore. It's going to be super, super competitive. And will you guys edit that out of the comments? It's be super, super competitive, like it should be. It's in-state games. That's why in-state games are special. I think they're fun for the fans, and it's every game for us is so huge right now, and we love it. We can't wait to get to it, and we have a lot of confidence in our guys. We have a lot of confidence in our approach, and so let's go.
Can we get Trevin on Utah as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Coach said, it's super fun. To play in-state rivals. It's fun to play against guys you kind of grow up with. With Brandon Carlson, he was my AU teammate, so I'll be texting him later this week to kind of spice some things up. But like, just with a lot of stuff that's been going on, like, this game's gonna be personal. I love Deion Sanders things. Like, they kind of like to make things personal, so it's gonna be a fun game, and I feel like we're gonna be ready for that fight. Okay, that competitive outbreak.
We guys edit out the fight. We're trying to really
it's gonna be a fight,
careful with our
guys.
language.
We'll put an exclamation point.